Hey everybody, Karyn Bryant for MMA Heat, talking with Molly McCann, Meatball Molly, who is facing Lara Procopio this Saturday at UFC at the Apex. It is the Volkov versus Overeem card. And Meatball Molly, it is so great to see you. I know you're in quarantine right now, but how's it treating you?
All right. The camp's been hard. I think everyone in different countries around the world is approaching it differently. I think England is approaching it. I think we're a lot more strict than the USA or Brazil. But look, I'm still fighting next week, so all is good.
It's exciting and it's been so difficult, and I really feel for all of you athletes that are trying to do this. So, you know, does all of the steps you have to take, all the hoops you have to jump through to get to this fight, does that sort of inspire you more? Like, how does that affect your mindset when you're going? You have to go through all this even just to get to the part where you get to fight.
Yeah, I mean, Fight Island was like it was like the test drive, the pilot,
Hmm.
where I got to understand how it went, and now I feel like I'm used to it. However, going to Las Vegas, it'll be a little bit different.
Hmm.
I think it's harder. I think it's a lot harder, Karen, because you haven't got your support system, and like fighters need that network of people around them. The days are hard, and you need someone sometimes to put their arm around you and go, "You're gonna be okay," and that just hasn't happened this camp. And in England, it's like we can only have like a bubble.
Yeah.
So we can only work with certain people and have a bubble that you live with. So like my work bubble is men who are bantamweights.
Hmm.
Um, so it's like I've had no flyweights to train with, but the last girl I fought, Talia,
Yeah.
felt like a featherweight.
Yes.
So if I need bantamweight boys now. So yeah, it is what it is, I suppose. But it's hard on the mental because you're always in your head.
Hmm.
And I think Dustin Poirier said something about that last week, which quite a lot of people will pick up on is it's a lot of a fighting life is a lonely life, but I mean in lockdown it's even more. You've got the demon there, and then like the angels and it's like
Yeah.
the positive. Oh, I'm gonna beat her, and then it's like, oh, am I? Am I?
Yeah. Well, it's I mean, that's the thing. It's tough for all of us to be dealing with that, but especially for you guys. It is your livelihood, and you have it's a risk. Even to go partake in the thing that helps you do your job better is a risk, just to go train. So
Wow.
I know that's difficult, and people who follow you on social media know that, you and your girl are really tight, you and your mom are really tight, and so you do especially seem to me somebody that really thrives on having those loved ones around you. So I feel like maybe part of what you're doing on your social media, expressing how hard it is to help us buoy you. Is that the case?
Yeah, well, I just think I'm what how I feel, you'll know, Karen. If I'm in a bad mood, you'll see it on my face. If I'm in a good mood, and I just always try to be open and not hide and shy away. And I think too many people, we're in an age of influencers where everything's amazing and everything's great, and actual, it's not. And I want people to know, fuck, I've had a really tough day today. Um, and it's yeah, why can't you be honest and open? I don't think it's weak. Do you know, if my opponent wants to see me say, do you know what, training's been so hard today, and she thinks yes, I'd be like, oh, I'm not sure. Like I'm pushing myself to the best that I can, and if I can, if I can be honest enough to say, look, I'm having a shit day, and someone goes, so am I, and it's nice to know that someone in a public figure or who's an elite athlete's feeling the same as me, then we're all gonna get through it together. Because you're right, everyone's going through it, and England's now in its third lockdown,
Yeah.
like national lockdown, and it's like this since January it's been more, but like I normally wake up every day like yes, and I've just been like fuck, get me to Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you just skip, like I've had COVID in September.
Uh-huh.
I caught it in Poland when I went training,
Mm.
and you're just always scared that I'm not going to be able to fight because there's that many variables. Like, what if someone in the gym gets it? What if someone of the team gets it? Uh, all the flights stopped from England when it went into the national lockdown, and we went in Brexit, so we can't even fly to Europe to go stateside. So I've got to come a day early to Vegas, and they've got to put us up somewhere because the host hotel won't be ready,
Right.
and it's just there's so much to deal with, but you've got to take it in your stride and just realize this is the new normal.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited that we do get to see you fight, and you mentioned Fight Island, and you know when we were over there before, that fight didn't go your way. Taila's just a really tough woman, and I felt like the whole fight watching you, I could almost see your frustration. Like it was almost like you just never had a chance to get your thing going, and
Yeah.
it was making me crazy. So I'm curious what that fight felt like for you, and what adjustments you've made since then, because you were on a 3-fight win streak before that.
Yeah, so for me, since the loss of my debut, like I met you the night before I won my first bout in the UFC, and I made so many adjustments in terms of just having professionals come on board. Like I got to the UFC just off heart and just having a go. But then we brought in professionals, and then it took my game up and up and up. And in that fight camp for Talia, we was only allowed in the gym for 3 weeks. So that was literally 2, 4, 6 sparring sessions, 6 grappling sessions. We didn't have a lot of time because of our national lockdown, but when the UFC rings, I'm never going to be the person who goes, no thanks, I'm not going to be ready. Like I was physically in the best shape of my life. Like I was doing 50k, 100k on the back. I was doing 10k every day. When I got in there, she just felt take from that what you will. And I think when she fought Gillian Robertson, I was speaking to Gillian after, and Gillian was like, I've never felt anything quite like that. So what I took from that fight was, if they're longer than you, you're not always going to be able to win. I just wasn't able to get past their range, and this fight we've worked on range management and training with. I just train with men now. Every day I've just pushed myself with men, and I really think I'm going to finish Lara, to be honest.
Nice. Now you mentioned in one of your posts, I believe you said you'd be the first English woman to win in Vegas. Is that right? You know, how much do you? I mean, obviously, where you're from, it's a big part of who you are. And, you know, obviously I work very closely with my dear buddy, Michael Bisping, and we know that for a long time, Michael carried the mantle for English fighters. You know, we've got you, we've got Darren, we've got Leon, we've got, you know, Danny Roberts and stuff. But how do you feel about that role? Because it does seem like it's important to you.
Yeah, I mean, Britain, so when you've got Scotland, you've got Joanne Calderwood, and then when you've got Wales, you've got Jack Shaw, Marshman, Brett Johns. England right now, what's his name from London? The prospect, Nathaniel Wood said,
I love him.
This is the golden era of this is the golden era of English MMA. So we're at a time now where
you're talking about
we
Nathaniel
need to put
Wood.
on for the kids. Nathaniel Wood. For me, Karyn, I grew up and there was just professional boxers who I could look up to. And I feel like they knocked on the door. And I feel like my generation is going to kick the door in. And then the generation after me is going to be able to just walk through the door. Like I've set the blueprint, I think. And I want to be like Bisping. I really think like I've got longevity. I really think I'm such a similar fighter to him, where you'll take a lick, take a slap, just keep coming, and it is really important. It's more important to be from Liverpool than it is from England. Liverpool, Darren Till will tell you, it's like Texas in America, or like New York. We're like our own state, our own city. We're called Scousers, and we say we're not English, we're Scouse. So Americans are the same, the patriotic. Scousers, we're exactly the same, you know. Well, it can push you through when you're losing.
And you feel that. You really do feel that. And also, even just getting back to what you're saying before about sharing your vulnerability, I was talking to Darren about that. I mean, that's something that when we were on Fight Island, he we were talking about that a lot in the fighter meetings, and he's done that same thing. He says, by showing my vulnerability, I actually am drawing some strengths. And yeah, who am I to pretend that I'm not, human and these things don't happen? And I do believe that helps fans connect with you guys a lot more. But yeah, when you talk about the old generation, Mal, I started in boxing, right? So Ricky Hatton fights and Joe Calzaghe fights and stuff like that. So it was really amazing. It really is cool to think, like, have you specifically had young girls come up to you and been like, oh my God, Mal, I saw you in the show, and like I realize that I can do this too, because if there's one thing I do know about Liverpool, which isn't a lot, but like we've always heard that it's real blue collar and stuff, and people don't always believe that they can get out and excel. So how much have you felt a sense of like, yeah, wow, I'm actually helping some girls here?
So Liverpool is as working class as it gets. It reminds me of Detroit a lot. I stayed a few times in Detroit and trained there, and it's very much the same. And the only way out is normally through sport, or it's very creative, this city. It's known for its music, its acting, and its sports, but there's like a different kind of fire and passion behind us. It's very like gritty, determined, and that is the difference, do you know what I mean, in us and some other fighters from England. But I do remember when I first started fighting, it was more for just to be the best. And then after UFC London, Dan Hardy said in the Octagon, how does it feel to be the first English woman to win? And then I was blown away. And then my reason for fighting changed. I thought, well, I need to be able to reach that many people and to create a platform so that they know that they can do it, because I was like turned away from loads of gyms, Karyn, as a kid, like no girls allowed, you're not allowed in. So it's nice to be able to bring kids in, and the participation rates in MMA is like 50-50 now in classes, and in the boxing in England and Ireland, there's like so many high level world champions now, like you like Katie Taylor, Terry Harper, Natasha Jonas, Chantel Cameron, Savannah Marshall. These are all Team GB or Ireland. So I was literally speaking to Jane Couch, and she was a world champion boxer from England, and she was the first English woman pro to box in Vegas. And she sent me a message before saying, you'll be the second English woman to fight professional combat sport in Vegas. And I was like, oh my God,
it's cool.
It's really cool, and it's another part of history. Like, I'll be the first English woman to fight there and to win there,
Yeah, it's neat. It's funny because in terms of the UFC, I've done some things that were sort of first for women or for whatever, and like you, like I didn't always realize it maybe in the moment until somebody says something, and then you're like, oh my God, wow, like cool,
you need to smell the roses.
Yeah.
But I think me and you are successful probably because we don't get hung up in the success. Like it's like whatever, I'm still going. I've got more shit to do,
Exactly,
so.
way more. Well, and I gotta be honest with you, that was part of the reason I was so bummed that last year's London trip was canceled, right? Because I was in Brazil working with Dan Hardy on that last show and was supposed to go to London. And I remembered you, me, and Nick sitting around in the bar and had such a great conversation. And I was just like, oh man, I'm so bummed that I didn't get to go back there. So I'm glad that you are coming to Vegas and you're representing for us here. But when we get to the sort of... Wait, go ahead.
I remember when we spoke, you was listening to me and I was speaking, and you was like, okay. And then when I had the face off, she was like, I'm not quite sure. And then after the fight, I was like, yes, Karyn, I told you.
Yes, it's good stuff. No, I mean, it makes it's a good and bad thing for me, because when I get to know you guys, then my heart is more invested too. Then I'm like, oh crap, so it is really hard, but at the same time, it's really important for me. And I knew there was so much about you that I liked, and you and I know have so much in common. And you really had me going on a post the other day because my father has passed away as well. You had a post where you were talking about, and I'm going to try not to make sure it doesn't get too dusty in here, but that you were with your mom, and you were talking about, also part of it was in the documentary, you were talking about like what your father said to you. I don't want to give it all away because I want people to watch your documentary and I want you to say it in your words, but you and I have a lot in common in terms of supporting our moms, or sort of them living through us for a lot of things, and it adds value to what you do, but it adds a lot of man, I want to win for me and I want to win for her too. And I want to win for a lot of other reasons. So how do you process all that? Because in a way you could, you know, you don't want to build up so much pressure on yourself, but at the same time, it feels good to win and know that you're filling other people's hearts too, if that makes sense.
So I remember he had primary pulmonary hypertension, so it was something wrong in his heart. And then the medicine he had for that gave him a cirrhosis of the liver, and then he got liver cancer. So his life was just really cut short quite quick. But we had like 2 years together, nursing him, and I was his carer, and all he'd ever go on about was me fighting. So I always was fighting for me. And then like I say in that clip, when the chips are down and when I feel like shit and I can't give anymore, and that fight at UFC London, like everything inside me was like, right, take a knee, you're done, you know. And my dad was from 5 minutes walk from the O2 Arena, so it was like, no fucking way am I giving in. But it is really hard, Karyn, because like you say, you're living for your mum and their strength inspires us. And it's always like, my mum says to me, you'll always be all right. And I say, but how do you know? And she said, because you've made of me, you cut from my cloth. And I'm like, okay. And then I try and succeed more for his memory, and to do him proud and do him justice. And when he was in hospital, sometimes I'd walk in and he wouldn't know I was there, and he'd be showing other patients like videos of me fighting and stuff, and going, this is me daughter. And just to know how proud he was, it gives you like an extra life, like in the cage. Like when I was fighting Taila, like I was taking knee, like broken nose, like knee bust, like ribs snapping nearly, and I just didn't know. I don't know how to stop, you know, because I have to keep succeeding for him. But I fight well against adversity, and when I've got pain, and I overcome that well, which I'm sure quite a lot of people do. But when I fight on that night, it's his birthday. So I just thought, coming off a loss, there's a lot of pressure. But to know it was your dad's dream to fight in America, to fight in Vegas, to win a world title, and to win on his birthday would, like, it would just mean so much to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, Mum, if I can get you a waiver, will you come? And she said no. And I said, why? And she said, because it's your dad's birthday. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. So today I've had a song on. It's called Sailor by Emily Sandé, and it's just all about church. And it's about like a pause in the song, and you've got to be present and thinking. And I've just cried all day with so much gratitude, thinking, oh my God, I am this close to live my dream. And it's so mad, and I think it's coming from a working class city and family, and no one having anything, that you take so much value and pride in everything. But I always feel like a fan, and like I'm not meant to be there. Do you know, Karyn? I'm always like, oh my God, we're here again. And the people who work for the UFC are like, I'm like, do you want a coffee? Do you want this? Do you want that? They're like, fuck off, go make weight. But I was speaking to Heidi last night.
Love her. That's my road dog. Heidi is my road dog.
And she was like, are you still coming out to Psycho? I was like, no, I'm coming out to this song. And I said, but do you want any chocolate? And she went, I'll never say no to chocolate. So today I've spent about $40 worth on chocolate, so you can have some if you want.
Oh, I will do, believe me.
Like a bag like this, just full of chocolate for the staff. So
nice. Oh, that's so sweet. You're very sweet. They take great care of you guys. I mean, it's such it's great. It really is great. You know, I could talk to you all day, which is the thing. Like I've literally in London there, I think they were like, you guys don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, right? They're just kicking everybody out, that type of thing. But will you? Obviously, you have a lot of time. You've really still not even been in the UFC that long, right? So when you look at trying to achieve that dream and becoming the champion, what steps do you feel you need to take? How many, successful fights do you think you need to have? And when you look at the girls ahead of you, what do you feel like your options are?
I feel like I lost my debut to someone who's got the most submission wins in in female history. I'm cool with that. I genuinely think Talia, like my jiu-jitsu, like I would sub me from my debut now. You know, like I've dedicated the last 2 years of my life to jiu-jitsu. Against Talia, I lost to her. I genuinely think she can be the next world champion. Like, I'm not chatting shit. Like, I've felt shots before. Like, I know her level and where she's gonna go to. I just think I'm gonna be like Mike Bisping. I'm never gonna stop until it comes. Like, I literally said, Mike, my best punch is my left hook, and so was yours. Nice. You took the world title shot on 2 weeks. That's probably gonna happen to me, and I'll probably do the business. As long as it takes, it's gonna take. And you'll hear me in that documentary. Like, at the beginning, my mum taught me about goal setting and time and strategy. And when I got to that level, and then I got a few wins, I wasn't as I need it now, I need it now, because it became more about the journey and the martial artist and who I'm becoming as a person. So it could take me 3 more years to get there, and that's absolutely fine. Like Joanne Calderwood, she, like, I remember watching, I hadn't even had an MMA fight, and I watched her on Cage Warriors, and then she went on to Invicta, and I remember watching her and Tisha Torres on the same card, and they're just getting there, and I'm 3-4 years behind them. But I mean, I think if I finish Lara, I'll go top 15 again, maybe top 14, and then I know where I'm at. I know I'm good. Like, I think a lot of people who went to Fight Island, Karyn, didn't adjust well. You either did or you didn't. And I think the European fighters struggled and the American fighters didn't, because it was America time. And I think that was a big part of it. It was like 6 a.m. by the time I was fighting, and I think that was a massive part with it. So I just think that whole cliche, you live or you learn, you know. So I've learned how to not be finished, and I've learned how to keep on improving, and not letting the mental health affect me that much, because I just don't. I feel and I don't think fighters are honest enough about how they feel, and I think I can't be trolled and I can't be ridiculed for being honest, because I've owned my stuff, you know. So I've grown there, and then I just can't wait to fucking put on a performance. Do you know when you lose and you just only want to fight, but then you don't know when you're going to fight again because of Corona? So it's just, I've got a 3-year working visa for America, so I could even move there, to be honest. I was speaking to James Krause, like,
oh really?
Kind of, yeah.
That'd be amazing. I mean, I live in LA. There's a million gyms here. I'd love to have you. James Krause is a great option, though, in St. Louis as well.
I know. Look, wherever has the best food and wrestling.
Yeah, I know. You have a lot of options here. It's true. Well, you know, it's. I like that you are not in a hurry. You know what I mean? And you seem to process things really well. And I will say that's, if there's one positive thing that comes out of the COVID experience, it's that people have been more truthful about their vulnerabilities, about their mental health struggles. And I think that's one thing that's been really important for a lot of fighters, to show that and to be candid about it, because it really brought, I think, a lot of people together, community-wise, fan-wise, to understand what you're going through. And because it is a singular sport, people identify with you so much more, right? So people are living vicariously through you. And so to see that you are human and to be open about your vulnerabilities, I think is a really valuable thing. So thank you for doing that. I really do. I really do. But you know what? Also, you're just a lot of fun. And so I'm glad that you're in the UFC, and I'm glad that, you know, you're going to be here for a while. You know, you always do come with so much heart, and it's just really, really fun to watch you. And, you know, Michael is a dear friend of mine, and no disrespect to Luke, but I lost my mind when Michael won the title. Like, I went crazy. Like, I was so happy for him because I knew what he went through. Yeah, it was crazy. I remember I said to Mike when I met him, I said, Mike, the first UFC I ever went to was when you beat Anderson Silva. And I said, I'm gonna be that one day. And 3 years later, UFC London, the third time I was on and I won. Do you know what I mean? I was like, so you just can't keep a good man down, can you? No. But when you talk about heart, I think if anyone,
if you talk shit outside of the cage, then you'll have the naysayers, and the second that you're down, people are on your back.
Right.
But if you can talk a bit of shit as long as you back it up. If you don't give up, then you don't really get the naysayers, you know. And I think like Paul Felder, I feel like I'm a bit like him. And I was watching, what did I watch yesterday? The UFC 189. Brad Pickett was fighting Almeida. And I just thought, oh my God, like I fight a bit like Brad Pickett as well.
Yes. You just need a hat now, Mal.
Yeah. I'm going to have to bring something else from Liverpool. Well, I bring my flag everywhere I go, don't I?
Yeah.
And my soccer team is called Everton, and their slogan is Nil Satis Nisi Optimum, and it means nothing but the best is good enough.
Okay.
So I live and die by that. So I just bring the flag everywhere.
Nice. It's very nice. Well, if you're ever on the same card as Nathaniel, maybe you can borrow Brad's hat, because Brad trains Nathaniel, right? Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I think we fought on like 4 Cage Warriors, and then we fought on UFC London together.
Well, yeah, and Brad, because they were in Fight Island in July. Yeah. It's
like 2 weeks' notice, they took that.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah. 2 weeks' notice, I think he took that fight.
Exactly. Yeah. But
and that was war, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it's tough. Yeah, really tough. Well, listen, I know, you're on lockdown and you said you're bored. Can you Netflix and chill with yourself, Mom? Like, what are you going to watch?
Well, I've just started again. You're literally on the other screen. Yeah. The Michael Jordan documentary on Netflix.
Nice.
So I watched The Notorious. Have you seen Katie, the Katie Taylor documentary?
I didn't see that one.
No, listen, you need to watch that. A week before the fight, every night I watch a different Rocky.
Nice.
On Sunday, I start with Rocky 1, then Monday, Rocky 2, then Tuesday, Rocky 3. And I've done that since I used to box. I used to do that with my dad.
That's
really cool. I'm like, take a bag. Take a bag. But I'm not sure if you've seen on my Instagram, a famous boxing clothing woman, she makes bespoke shorts.
Okay.
She's called Susie Wong. And I got her to make me Apollo Creed MMA shorts.
Nice.
So this whole fight camp, I've had Hearts on Fire. Do you know,
yes, of course.
Yeah, and I've been wearing these shorts, and they're like, fuck off. I was
so
like,
great.
no, I feel like Rocky Balboa. Well, I feel like Apollo Creed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it. It's great. Anything to get through camp. I mean, whatever it takes. Takes.
It's like normally I'd go to the cinema, so go and watch a film, have a Pepsi Max or a Diet Coke. I just take the dog for a walk now, little Frank.
Yeah, I do a lot of jigsaw puzzles, Mal. So that's my thing. I'm really good at it. Actually, I love it. But yeah, I'll be happy to.
You've got the heat.
Yeah. Did I eat?
You've got the heat.
Oh yes.
Well, it was centigrade, it was -2, which probably means it was -30 or -25.
Oh yeah, no, that's freezing. No, I literally was just jumping rope out on my balcony, on my patio before this, and it's 65 degrees out, and I was like, oh, it's kind of brisk. It's only 22. Oh no.
I'm in a Canada Goose, skip. I went on the DEXA machine, so it tells you how much water you've got in the body. And they was like, you're 58% hydrated. And I was like, what does that mean? They was like, you're overly hydrated. I went, well, I can't fucking sweat because it's that cold. So I'm going to make weight so easy when my body's sweating, yeah.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, no, I was out there literally, and I started in long sleeves, and then I took this shirt off, and then I was like, oh, I can go, because most of the time you can just be sports bra and shorts still, even, and so today I did have the shirt on, but I was like, okay, yeah, and I do rub it in, because I know you guys are really suffering over there in England, and so a lot of time I do try to rub it in, that oh, it's so brisk out here today,
Yeah, I remember when you was in quarantine, and the W Hotel in Abu Dhabi, and all anyone could do was skip on
in the balcony.
Yeah. Maybe a bit of yoga. I was shadow boxing that, watching the sun on the Nespresso machine.
Exactly. I know.
I was wired every day off the coffee. What shall we do? Let's have another espresso.
Why not? I did. Oh please, I would power to 2 or 3 before I would jump, and then I would jump, and then I'd call down for my breakfast, and then I was living like a queen for those days. That's the thing, the quarantine, it's trouble, but Over at the W, it's not that bad.
I know, and now I'm going to stay in like what the one in
The Vegas one is.
Yeah.
Just here, Mal, if your expectations are here, put them real low. Bring them.
Listen, I'm from a working class city.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to 2-star. We're good.
Okay, it's got a loo and it's got a kitchen, so you're good, I guess, right?
Yeah. I'll have the Mac. I'll just do Instagram lives all day, every day.
There you go.
I'll be a real influencer.
Well, listen, like I said, I could talk to you all day, but I should probably wrap this up. But I'm really excited that you're going to be fighting over in Vegas, and really just looking forward to seeing you. I'll be there. I'm working that show.
Okay. How much chocolate do you want?
I mean,
have you ever had a cream egg?
I have had a cream egg. Those are pretty good. I just don't like peanut butter, which is weird.
Okay. Yeah, that's like a staple from America, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not a peanut butter eater, but here's a little hint. I mean, a little secret. Heidi and I mostly hang out together whenever we're working those shows anyway. So if you bring a bunch for Heidi, I'll end up stealing some from her anyway. But yes, I do love my chocolate, which is why I'm jumping rope all the time.
I'll bring you some. Well, I've bought about 18 big bars of different galaxies. So
yeah.
Of Cadbury's. So it'll have caramel, honeycomb. I tried to get stuff that wasn't available in America.
Yes.
Like no Oreos, no Reese's.
Yeah. I love caramel.
Well, I'll give you salted caramel.
Nice. Isn't that what I call this skin tone anyway? Is salted caramel?
It's what I call that hair there.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Well, listen, Mal, really excited to see you fight, and I hope the travels and quarantine and everything go well, and just keep doing what you're doing.
I'll see you in 6 sleeps.
Awesome. See you soon, Mal.
Thanks very much, Karen. Bye, love.
Bye.